Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ken Frederick podcast. Today is February 18th, and what's up?
Happy Valentine's Day, Ken and Justin.
Happy Valentine's Day, Dawn
I
and
hate
Justin.
Valentine's Day.
Why? Because you don't have anybody.
Even when I did, I always had to work on a Valentine's Day, or I'm not a fan of it.
This was, I had a good Valentine's Day this year.
See? Best
Yeah,
two out of three.
this is your
It works again.
Exactly, yep. But I didn't do anything special. Well, stayed at home and had dinner. It was nice.
Stayed at home, put your Cupid outfit on and your diaper. ran around, shot Mindy in the ass with arrows.
Yep.
Right?
Just
Typical day.
I mean, it's no different from any other Tuesday or Sunday, whatever.
Typical Saturday night. I had a very nice Valentine's Day.
How about you tell us about your Valentine's Day?
We just went out to eat and, got away from the kids. It was nice.
Oh, good.
I'm happy for you guys, even though I hate it. I'm happy
Got some new
you guys were
couches.
happy.
You know what? In the past, when I was single, I'd always use Valentine's Day to justify buying myself stuff. So I remember one year I just got drunk and played video games, and because I bought like a new hat and like a video game.
New hat. Hey, I got a new hat for Valentine's Day. Was it red?
No, it was my black pit hat that I got.
That's nice.
Yeah, I liked it. But yeah, then I was like, I'll buy this hat, video game, and some booze, and I made myself a steak. I think it was
Made
nice.
myself a steak. That's
I-
nice.
I-
What a lonely night.
It was.
So what was your night?
Whiskey, video games,
Arc.
yeah.
Whiskey, arc, masturbation. What order was that in again?
Well, it's not like you can. I feel like it's not just that's the only. It substitutes itself multiple times. So it's like I had a little whiskey,
A little yank.
Yeah.
Little yank, little whiskey, a little video game, little yank. So,
and sometimes it comes at the
tons of
same
cookies.
time. Be like, you know what?
Just multitask.
This dinosaur is looking pretty good. If
Yeah.
I can switch my mouse to left-handed,
It's going to take a while to train this dinosaur. Well, is there any Twinkies around?
because you have two monitors
Yes,
up
you
at
did.
your house.
You did.
I have 3 monitors.
It's probably a constant stream of just.
It's a lonely guy's like utopia.
Yeah.
It's
I bet if you're sitting when you're stuck to Justin's chair in his control center,
stuck. The keyword being stuck.
it's probably left screen is Twitter feed to make sure you know what's going on in the world. Main screen's Arc, right screen.
One's a camera into Stephen Amell's house just to see what's going on with
That's
him.
minimized on the Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And then the
Stephen
right
Amell
screen.
plays Arrow, by the way, if you didn't know that.
What is
All right, so real quick, last time we spoke, we had a little Super Bowl bet.
we did? And who won that bet, Dawn?
That would be me, because you 2 idiots, 2 out of 3 idiots, said that Carolina was going to win by a lot of points, and I called 24-20, and the score was 24-10. So I am very wise and smart when it comes to picking.
Well, then you win to go first on all topics tonight.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
talk about.
all right.
That's what you get.
And I want to apologize for interrupting everybody on the last one like a big ass. So.
Well, it's all right because no one's heard the last one.
Yeah, well, no one's heard it, so there you go.
So
Ken, what's happening?
well, there's things we want to hit on. Do we want to do the biggest thing that's happened this weekend, other than Valentine's Day, was the release of Skull Poop L or Deadpool. Did you ever see
The emoji.
the emojis? They
emoji
did the
thing.
skull
Cool.
and the little pile of poop and
okay.
the L. Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't see that one. I didn't know what the hell you were talking about.
That was a giant.
I was like, did
that
I
on
miss something? Something happened?
That was on a giant billboard in Hollywood.
It was just
Wow.
those 3, and then it said Deadpool underneath it.
Wow, that's stunning.
Yeah. The kids online have been calling it just skull poop.
Okay.
But anyways,
So that was the big thing other
Yeah.
than Valentine's Day.
We went to
we all went.
we went and saw it together, and then had our evening IHOP, which is always a good time. And so thoughts.
Well, why don't you start off with your thoughts on it?
Well, you won the bet, so you
That's
start.
true. I did win the bet.
So you start all topics tonight with your thoughts for winning the
all right,
bet.
so Deadpool. What, Justin, what was it? The highest R-rated movie of all time?
Tell them, Statman
Opening
Crothers. You got it.
Highest opening weekend R-rated, highest February opening period.
Highest movie with a D in it as a title of all time.
You mean D's nuts didn't?
Other stats are there.
I don't know. Those are
Highest
The highest grossing movie with a man in a red suit.
The man in a red suit beat out the Santa Claus. He has all kind of stats like that.
What's that? The guy from Home Improvement is very upset that his movie
No,
didn't.
totally upset.
Tim Allen.
So,
Tim Allen. That's it.
the Deadpool. I was actually pleasantly surprised with it. I thought it was very funny. A lot of really good jokes. And I'm not. Yeah, I told you before, I'm not a big Ryan Reynolds guy.
Whisper talking Ryan.
But he didn't do a
Reynolds.
lot of whisper talking, and this is kind of like the perfect role for him. I thought that he was. This is like the character. This is the only character I think Ryan Reynolds should be allowed to play. I think that's it. I think other than this and Van Wilder, that should be the only two movies he should be allowed to make. I don't want to see him in anything else except Deadpool, and maybe he can even mix Deadpool and Van Wilder into one movie. You know?
Deadpool kind of is Van Wilder.
Yeah, he's like Van Wilder with guns and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that my only thing about it, I thought the X-Men portion was great. Colossus was great.
Colossus was my favorite part of the movie.
I thought the R rating part of it was so unnecessary and completely. And are we currently muted right now? Why does that red button say mute?
That's just the mute button.
Okay, I thought maybe it was red that we were completely muted.
When it flashes, it's.
Oh, when it flashes. Okay, back on track. Back on track. I thought the R rating part was completely useless. I mean, there's a lot of sex in it, which I was surprised about, so I can't bring the kids to see it, which was really unnecessary. It was just kind of silly. And then the swearing was kind of pointless. There was really no need for it. And the violence was okay, but they could have, like, dumbed that down. And I think it could have been PG. A topic I think we're going to talk about is now everybody is so excited that superhero movies can be R rating and make over $100 million.
Oh, yeah. And so,
now that's going to just take off.
Fox already said that the next Wolverine movie is going to be R-rated.
They're talking about it. They haven't come through. They don't even have a script yet.
Oh.
So
They have a poster?
Yeah.
They have a poster with him giving the middle finger or whatever it is. The middle claw.
The middle claw.
Hashtag was it Wolverine Last Bride?
Last ride.
Like Undertaker.
Stupid, yeah.
But, and there's talks of the X-Force movie because Cable's going to be in it, so it'll be R-rated.
I saw something horrible, speaking of Cable, that somebody suggested Mel Gibson as Cable.
Well, he says that at the end. He's like, I don't know, some big guy with a flat top. Mel Gibson, Dolph Lundgren, Keira Knightley. Did you guys see the fan art of Keira Knightley turned into Cable? God. It was actually pretty awesome.
That's right. He did say that. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be horrible.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who would be a good Cable.
Aziz Ansari would be a great Cable.
Oh yeah,
The guy,
Kevin Hart.
The guy that's personally championing himself for the role is the dude that played the asshole sergeant in Avatar.
See, I saw that guy, and I'm like, I don't know. He's not big enough. Kevin Nash would be perfect for Cable, but he can't act.
This is true.
He's huge.
You
He's
need
got all the
somebody big.
silver hair, but he's...
That guy from Avatar is not a bad actor. He's just
He's too small.
He's too small to be Cable. Cable's got to be big.
He's...
What about, what's his name, the local Pittsburgh guy that I always wanted to be Batman?
Joe
Manganiello.
Yeah. What about, he's a bigger guy. If you gave him like a gray flat top kind of buzz cut,
maybe.
He's a bigger dude. I've seen him before where he has like the gray beard and, you know, he can.
I mean, he's in his mid 40s, so he's got gray when he grows it out.
Because he can act. He's a bigger dude, you know.
I'd be down with that.
You got to be somebody that looks menacing.
You just want him in a superhero movie.
I do want him in a superhero. I like.
You've been talking about him being Batman forever.
Yeah, I mean, what can you not like about him? He's banging Sofia Vergara, and he's just cool. You know,
he's cool.
He's cool.
Banging Sofia
Vergara. But yeah, the other part of the movie I really liked was T.J. Miller. I thought he was hilarious.
Well, we also agreed that the biggest downfall of Transformers, whatever the newest one was they killed him off too soon in that movie because he's
way
funny.
too soon because he is comedic gold in a movie. He is fantastic. But yeah, it was good. What was your thoughts there, Mr. Justin?
I loved it. I get your point about the R rating. A lot of the stuff was unnecessary, but I'm glad they put it in there because it made the movie fun. The whole sex scene was. Again, it was unnecessary, but I'm not going to complain about seeing Marina Baccarin's boobs.
No. Surprised by the level of nudity she did in that movie.
Yeah. She's done that before in a few other roles, but
what movies are those? Let me write them down real quick.
by the time they got to that, like it felt like that's what the two of them would do when they went. And it showed. And the good thing that did show though was a passage of time, because it talked about or it showed like holidays, so you knew how much time passed during that little montage thing.
That's a good point.
Which I thought was cool, and that was actually one of the negative things. After that, for me, after I've gone back and analyzed it, I've seen it once, but I haven't gone back yet. I will.
You only saw it once.
I've only seen it once so far.
I am surprised. Can you believe he only saw that once?
Yeah, I actually thought
he didn't wander over there on a lonely Saturday night for Valentine's Day and see that.
Wow, what a jerk!
Arc must have been so good.
I know.
Did they fix the server on Arc?
Well, no. Saturday night was wasn't it really cold Saturday night? I think that's why I didn't leave the house, because I didn't feel like it was like
so
super
the cheese
cold
doesn't
out.
go out in the cold.
Hell no.
Freezes. You can't
freeze up.
You can't get freezer burned your cheese.
But anyway, the time period after he leaves, and the point where he kind of comes back as like after the torturers, you have no idea how much time passes.
Right.
Was he being tortured for a week? Was he being tortured for 8 months?
Well, she did say that she hadn't seen him in years.
Was it years?
She makes that comment about you disappear for years and now you're back here. So I think it's been some years.
But
when they show that montage of him trying to find Ajax men, he's killing people, I think that's a long period of time.
And it could be, but the movie, for me, it didn't show that time period. I wasn't clear on how long passed. But that's a nitpicky negative thing. Everything else I loved. The Easter eggs were amazing.
Yeah. I've read that after we saw the movie, we all thought it was a helicarrier that they were on.
It absolutely
was.
They confirmed it was one of the helicarriers.
Because the concept art they had the Shield logo on the side of it.
Yeah. And Hydra Bob, they couldn't call Hydra Bob because of...
Yeah.
Should we maybe said, warning, this podcast contains spoilers for the nobody that listens to it?
It's fine.
Warning, spoilers ahead.
No, it's... I mean, let's be honest. What we tell them, in Hydra Bob is a character.
Yeah.
Or Bob.
It was cool. That was good. I missed that. You caught that one. That was a good catch by Ken.
Yeah.
What, the Bob reference?
The Bob reference.
Yeah.
I didn't know that character, but as soon as I saw the helicarrier, I was like,
oh, the helicarrier. It was so obvious.
Yeah.
Probably for me, the two best scenes of the movie, which I know one that I can't believe you didn't mention, Don, the
What's
X-Men, the specific X-Men scene where he makes the comment, gee, it's weird that only 2 of you are here all the time. It's like the studio couldn't afford any other X-Men.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Well, apparently that's a pretty big dig on Fox, because they were fighting to get... They almost weren't allowed to have any X-Men in it.
Yeah, but the funny thing is Fox made this movie.
Yeah, like... It's almost like... I feel like Ryan Reynolds made this movie more than Fox did.
Yeah.
And, let them use it.
The confusing thing, though, with the X-Men portion of it is, though, if you remember Days of Future Past, when Days of Future Past ended and Wolverine sees everything's fixed, he looks in the room and sees Colossus and Kitty together, but painting or in her teaching her class, and it's the kid. It's that.
But he wasn't in Colossus form, was he? He was in his human form.
He was in his human form, but again, the human form looked nothing like, because that kid didn't speak Russian or anything.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think he had. Did he have any lines?
No, but
he had lines in the other movies.
But what Don's saying is they used the kid from the old movies.
Yeah, he played Colossus in X-Men 2 and in X-Men 3. That kid, the American.
Yeah.
He's Colossus in there. You don't see him again in any other movies until when they do 3, when they do Days of Future Past. Wolverine's walking around seeing everything's fixed. He sees Rogue, Anna Paquin makes an appearance. He sees Rogue and Iceman together, and he opens the door and he sees Kitty and Colossus together standing there teaching a class. And it's the American teenage Colossus. Now we have this.
So there is a little bit of a continuity issue.
If it's going to cross over, it's like, well, where did this guy come from?
Well, we know it's going to cross over. They've said it's a
it's just Fox fixing their X-Men universe with Days of Future Past and then mucking it right back up again.
There's a movie pundit I watch online all the time that says there's
a movie what?
Thank you. A movie pundit.
Okay, yeah, all right. Again, you're sneaking words in there that we don't need to use on this thing. But
whatever.
Justin's Word of the Week.
Welcome to Justin's Word of the Week. Last week it was
Guerrilla Marketing.
This week, it's movie pumpkins.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie guy online, you walk into Fox Studios and there's a giant sign that says continuity, schmontinuity. He's like, they just don't care.
They don't.
But they made a hell of a movie.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. It made a shit ton of money.
Which you called. I'll give you credit for that. You called it. I didn't think it would break 100 million. You called it.
Well, I was shocked at 150 though. That was ridiculous. But yeah, I'm thrilled. I can't wait for Deadpool 2 and Cable and whatever else they decide to do going forward. So, Ken, how about you?
Don't you feel though that like Cable doesn't really fit into that?
I actually don't want him in that.
I mean, because the way that movie was, it was like it's a Deadpool like vengeance story and all that. The Cable storyline, I mean, that's really X-Men heavy.
That's so convoluted too.
So convoluted.
It's gonna be very It's gonna be very.
It's a strange
dicey about how. But isn't he teamed up in the? Aren't they teamed up in the current thing? Or
They do. They're together a lot. Actually, it would be great to have, instead of having a Cable origin story, I would love to see the two of them, and Deadpool just explains it, and it's like it doesn't make any damn sense. It's just, and then they do the whole.
That way you can wrap it up real easy with doing the fourth one.
That could work. I mean, that he kind of does that for
Ajax.
A little bit, and then himself, and
Yeah.
so they could do that.
Because Cable's just very, but they are good together because Cable doesn't really like him all that much.
What I loved about the movie
Annoyed
is
by him.
Deadpool needs a straight man to make him to bounce off of, and like when Deadpool and Colossus are together, it's the best part of the movie for me.
Well, and that was, I didn't get to my second favorite.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is your name on the podcast? No, I'm just kidding.
I forgot.
Justin's thoughts on Deadpool Part 2.
It's the end when he makes Colossus puke. That scene was just so great.
Oh yeah. I was like,
why?
I love Colossus. Is my favorite part. He's like, gotta eat some granola, Wade. You can't start Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Can't go out without a good breakfast. And he is spot on of everything I've ever liked about Colossus.
Yeah,
where he's
good.
overly optimistic and like. Deadpool's dropping F-bombs and Colossus, and he never calls him Deadpool. He's like, Wade, language.
Yeah,
and
language.
He's like, and he does that whole big speech, and what Deadpool does after, and I knew it was coming too, and it was just great. Now, things I liked about the movie were I liked that the fourth wall wasn't over the top. The little bit that he did with the like making fun of Green Lantern and Deadpool or when we're in Origins, And this is my most prized possession. He shows the action figures like that, and he's like, "Oh no, not this! This Wham album." I think that was great. I thought that
A lot of Wham references.
Yeah, a lot of music, like setups for jokes, like that whole. I forget who sings it, but the whole intro where they do that. Just call me an angel.
Yeah,
that's a great.
A lot of odd songs.
That's great. Did you know that Negasonic Teenage Warhead was actually supposed to be Cannonball, but they couldn't get the rights to him because Fox wouldn't pay for him?
Really?
Yeah. And then they realized that...
Cannonball, because, same kind of power thing.
New Mutants tie-in.
Yeah, New Mutants tie-in.
They said that they wouldn't use... They were allowed to have Colossus, and they're like, can we use Cannonball? And Fox, tightened up. They said no. And they're like, well, can we have Negasonic Teenage Warhead? And they had no idea. That's why they were allowed to use it, because the character's only been in, 2 books?
I thought maybe they used it just because of the goofy name.
No, they used it. Well, the writers picked the name.
Why the hell would Fox care about letting Cannonball in a movie?
I don't know.
When are they going to use him?
It's their movie, and it's their movie.
It's their universe.
I feel like I don't know if Fox has to pay Marvel for every character they use, and somehow in the depending on the level. I don't know, but Fox
has to do some research on that and find out.
You tell us, Statman Carruthers. But there's a whole, I guess on a podcast, I was reading on Newsarama, where they were talking, and the guy's like, yeah, we wanted to have Cannonball be his protege, for Colossus' protege. But then when they realized that they weren't going to give him up, they picked this other character, and then they wouldn't have to do the Southern Hillbilly. They could just give this person, and because the character hasn't been really written in any kind of backstory established, it was actually easier for them to write this character, which I thought the moody teenager with that name of
awesome.
it was perfect.
good, yeah.
And she's tweeting, and he's like, "Oh no, finish your tweet before we get in there."
I was a little surprised that they chose Colossus because Colossus and Deadpool really don't have much interaction in the comics.
No,
I mean, Deadpool interfaces with Wolverine the most.
because of the Weapon X time.
Yeah, and they do a lot of that. Like, Wolverine can't stand his constant, just like in Origins when he was like, someone shut his mouth up, because he kept talking all the time. But again, they couldn't afford Hugh Jackman.
And that's what they actually say, that they wouldn't let, because Hugh Jackman said he'd be down. Like, all these people were going to do it,
Yeah, they wouldn't
but
let
they
that
wouldn't
happen.
let that go in the budget.
Yeah.
Which is, apparently there was a whole scene where it was Deadpool fighting Taskmaster was supposed to be in this movie.
Oh, really? They own the rights
Well,
to
no, it
Taskmaster?
came back that they don't own the rights to Taskmaster.
Yeah, he's
They
more
had them,
Taskmaster.
and then when they were about to do it, they realized that they lost the rights reset, so they couldn't use it.
I think those rights reset when Ghost Rider and
Yeah.
like, the other ones went back.
So, but they had that written in the script, and then apparently instead of it being that Angel Dust is the main henchman, it was supposed to be Sledge. It's supposed to be all these other Morlock characters, 3 other Morlock characters that had powers, but they couldn't spend money on special effects
for all 3 of
for
them.
all 3 of them, so they just had her do super strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was,
Her fight with Colossus was pretty cool.
I liked when her top came open and like, not because they showed anything,
And he was all upset her boob was out?
Yeah, he's like, and Colossus wouldn't fight her anymore because her boob was out. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
And
that
then
was
she
pretty
comes
good.
up and punches him in the balls.
She was okay. I mean,
She's not an actress.
let's face it. We talked about her this last time we spoke. I mean, that role she plays. The role she plays is like, oh, wait, Gina, whatever her name is
Gershon.
going to play a tough girl that doesn't talk and is mean and
Yeah.
it's like when what's her name, the mute lady, Marley Maitland makes deaf movies. It's the same on Lifetime. It's the same thing.
Or she could sign the Super Bowl entry.
Yeah, we're signed to Super Bowl. But here's a movie on Lifetime about a deaf lady struggling. I wonder if Marley Maitland's going to be in it. Oh, there it is under cast info. It's the same thing with this lady. Oh, you need a tough chick that's a badass? Just cast Gina Carraro. Won't even need to. Did she even talk in Deadpool?
She talks a little bit, but maybe 4 or 5 lines.
Yeah.
I didn't
she
even
had
remember 4 or 5 lines.
the line where she says something to TJ Miller when they're first when they go to the bar looking for him, and I think she had 1 line during the whole torture thing.
Yeah, stupid, but yeah, it was fine.
Yeah,
It was someone for Colossus to punch, and
and that's what it was. It was just like, okay, you have CGI.
because if Colossus shows up to that fight without her there, it's
yeah,
over.
Yeah,
Especially the two. They needed someone for the two of them
yeah.
to beat on. So yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked the fourth wall stuff wasn't over the top. I mean, it was in what I equate Deadpool to is Iron Man 1. It wasn't an over-the-top story. It was an origin story with a D-rate villain that you don't care about, and it was just simple. It was like, here's the origin, here's the character, here's his interaction with the universe around him, and he's fighting this bad guy. It's not complicated. It's fun. That's why I don't have a lot of hope in DC movies, because they're kind of like, we don't want to have, like, they're going to be dark and like serious.
Yeah. No light humor, nothing
Yeah,
nothing like that. You'll
And
never see.
they're putting their emphasis on the spectacle instead of their emphasis on the character.
Exactly, which could sum up the companies. In
Even
a
their
nutshell.
attempt with Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn and all that looks dark and
Yeah.
doesn't look fun at all like Deadpool looked.
Yeah, because you
Because
could,
Harley Quinn's like DC's
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
and then that's what you got, the fact that and actually I think that they didn't even make him crazy enough, because he's even more off the wall doing
Right.
stuff. Like whenever he's like, there's in books where he's shooting himself in the head because he's bored, so he blows his brains out, and then they regen. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The way that they make Harley Quinn just seems like it's cliche. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the I'm talking the voices in my head. That's not what they really said. It's just, that's a whole other podcast where I could go off. about that.
Yeah.
But I think they nailed it on the head. I think this is how you introduce this character. I actually am upset that he can't. I would love to see a Deadpool movie in like with the Avengers. I would love to see him. I would love to see a Spider-Man Deadpool movie because him as the adult and they have Spidey as the kid running around would be amazing.
That would
Make it
Spider-Man and
fun.
Deadpool are currently teaming up in comics right now.
Yeah, and we can't keep that book on the shelf at the X comic book
It's always been a
stores.
good mix because Spider-Man can't stand him.
They can't. Yeah, because it's Spider-Man. Dude, it's what he does to everybody else is what Deadpool does to him. Like you know.
And the only problem is that if they own the rights to him, they would oversaturate every movie with him.
I actually think that Fox is gonna now that Fox knows that he's like you're gonna
hit.
see now that Hugh Jackman's kind of like this is his last Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
He's probably not gonna be around as much. They'll probably have to recast a new Wolverine.
Doesn't it seem though that the Fox X-Men movies you just don't? There's no flow to them.
No, they actually
They don't. They're just all over the board.
they seem like it seems like I just read this graphic novel. And this is all I've read. Like it's just like I'm eating this media, and there's nothing. It doesn't tie into anything.
We have an '80s apocalypse movie, and then who knows after that we might do X-Force with a bunch of characters you've never seen. Maybe now they're just going to ditch the X-Men altogether and focus on like Cable, Deadpool, X-Force, New Mutants type stuff.
I was gonna say I heard New Mutants is being thrown around. X-Force is being obviously they've already talked
New
about
Mutants
that.
and X-Force is the same thing.
Yeah.
New Mutants is before they become X-Force.
Okay.
It's
because X4 in the 90s, so it was New Mutants from the 80s through the 80s, and then the 90s when everything got sexy with Foil and everything had a lot because Rob Liefeld affected comic books and Jim Lee in the 90s, in the late 80s, early 90s.
So they took all the lame New Mutants they got rid of, and they took all the ones, gave them a more edge. Started wearing big pockets and
leather jackets
and leather coats, and then they started hanging out with Cable and their X-Force, and they're badasses and tough, and
it's
fighting Deadpool, who wasn't a good guy then.
Oh, you bring that closer so you can hear me drinking this water.
Ken's drinking a water right now. He needs a little time out. His throat's a little dry.
So
how long have we talked about Deadpool?
Deadpool?
26 minutes.
All right.
So to tie up Deadpool,
let's move fast.
Rating out of 10. I'll give it a 9.5. I won't give it the full 10. I'll give it a 9.5.
What's this rating scale based on? just like comic book movie rating scale?
Yeah, comic like
the Don Biordi.
The Don Biordi scale.
Movie scale.
For you, what does it rank out of 10?
Well, see, I don't really necessarily consider it a full-blown comic book movie.
Why not?
Well, just it was because it was so much comedy, and it wasn't super serious. It to me like Avengers is on like an epic level. Okay, that's a big movie. That's like a big movie. This to me was kind of like a little fun side little book you read on the side. Something that you.
But still a story from a comic book.
It still is.
That's made into a movie.
So like for me,
but not a comic book movie.
Avengers is my favorite comic book movie of all time.
Okay.
The first one.
Well, is it because it's like the first... is it because you saw everyone together in a movie?
Because what it accomplished. It took all these major characters from all this setup and build up and delivered on a high-level, big-time movie. It did what it did. It's my favorite. That, for me, was a 10 out of 10 comic book. Because, you rate them different with other movies. Deadpool, for me, would be like a 7.
Okay.
I'd say it's probably better than any of the Wolverine movies, which again isn't saying much.
No, it's not.
It's probably better than most of the X-Men movies because most of them were trash. But I like Days of Future Past. I probably liked it the same as much as I like Days of Future Past.
I think by far this is the best Fox movie property, which isn't saying much.
Yeah.
You never gave it an actual score.
I said 7 out of 10.
Oh, you didn't? All right, my bad. I would say it's probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. I wish... Actually, it was pretty much... As I can't complete sentences. It was pretty much spot on for the character. The story wasn't anything in depth. The action was cool. Sometimes the intro, whenever they were doing all the rotating around the crashing car, I was trying to figure out what's going on, and when they do the scene after and they mix it all together, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Sometimes I found some things mildly annoying, but nothing too serious. I thought it was good. I think it's the best Fox, property that they have so far. And then they'd be stupid if they didn't. Actually, I think they should maybe build on that and let Deadpool introduce the rest of the X-Men universe after Age of Apocalypse.
Make him the figurehead.
Yeah.
Just like the old Lego Marvel game. Where
The
he's
new Wolverine.
Centerpiece.
Yeah.
I want to see him in a PG-13 X-Men movie. And I want to see him break when he swears. I want them to bleep it, and I want him to make a reference. Either why are you? All right, I'll keep it under control, and then for the rest, get that over with real quick, the first 10 minutes, and be like, all right, fine, I'll keep it under control. And then for the rest of the movie, it's PG-13.
Yeah,
and that's the way. I think that would be really cool.
Maybe he'll be mixed in with a new team in the future or something.
Yeah, I think that you should use him as a figurehead to go on. But I give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was good. I think there's ways to improve it. I'm looking forward to the second one, but I'm not looking forward to Cable. I just think that Cable's convoluted.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Cool.
But
all right, next.
All right, well, let's go something lighter. That it'll be quicker because the topic I had next was going to be pretty in depth.
Okay.
So let's go there. So we haven't talked. I did one since the Super Bowl. There was a lot of Super Bowl movie trailers for nerd stuff coming out. So any thoughts on what we saw? There was new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, new Civil War. What else was there?
Some Batman vs Superman stuff.
The new Bourne trailer.
Which I thought was... You're not going to go see it?
I'm not a Matt Damon guy. I never really liked the Bourne Identity movies and Bourne-eyed dickhead or whatever Jimmy Kimmel called him. I don't know. It's Matt Damon being cool. I don't want any part of it. I never wanted any part of it.
I'll watch it if it's on Netflix or...
You got to feel bad for Jeremy Renner, who they introduced in the last movie as he's taken over the Bourne series.
Yeah.
And then Matt Damon's like, oh, Ben Affleck's Batman now unpopular. Now I want to come back. I hate that Hollywood crap where he didn't want to make any more because he was done.
He said is Paul Greengrass comes back to direct and there's a good script.
It's funny if there's a good script. Why didn't he want to do the last one?
Because Paul Greengrass was done.
Hey, because when the grass isn't greener on the other side.
If I hear Paul Greengrass,
he only wanted to work with that director.
Well, why? I mean,
I don't know.
That's what I don't understand.
The story for the Jeremy Renner one wasn't very good either.
Yeah, well, because Paul Bluegrass wasn't a part of it.
Paul Bluegrass.
But anyway, all right.
But anyway, so all right, so let's talk about those. So
Paul Bluegrass is the reason why we hated the Bourne son.
So Civil War. I was right again. They did show a Civil War trailer because you told me you said they wouldn't.
I said that they.
You said that they would. You didn't think they would either.
No, I didn't think there'd be any new footage, and there was new footage.
I wasn't totally right because I said we would see Spider-Man, but we didn't. They're saving that apparently. But you did get a cool look at Ant-Man in the trailer with his new outfit, which looked cool.
You got to see the two teams.
You got to see the two teams line up for this fight, and it was okay. I mean, it didn't get me super excited for it because I don't like superhero fight movies, but everybody looks cool, and I'm sure it'll be kind of intense. The new Batman, Superman footage, nothing too new exciting there. No. More fights in the rain. Here we are fighting in the rain. I did think the opening Batman sequence looked really intense. I like the way they show Batman fighting. I think it looks really cool. I don't like Affleck as Bruce Wayne because I don't like the looks he's making and the faces. But he looks pretty cool in the Batsuit fighting and beating people up. That looks like a Batman comic when Batman's just whooping ass and beating people up. So really felt like that's the whole Batman scene, and we saw the whole thing already.
I hope
not. I don't know. That movie, we keep seeing that stupid fight over and over. I don't know. I'm anxious to see this movie because I wanted to get it out of the way. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of I've been bitching about it for years
because we've been waiting for this since Comic-Con 2013.
Yeah. I want it out of the way and be and that way I can decide whether I'm going to hate this Justice League that they're doing or I'm going to be on board. This movie's going to make or break that. I'm going to see that and go, this is crap, and I know the rest is going to be crap. Or, hey, that wasn't that bad, and I kind of like where they're going with it. So, what was the other one? The Turtles.
I like the Turtles one.
Turtles look good.
I don't understand why the Turtles have to fight every villain on top of a rooftop.
Because rooftops are where you fight in New York, Ken. Get it straight.
And why they have to have Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang and Shredder. And I have a feeling they are pretty sure they're not going to be able to make any more of these, so they're cramming as much into this last one as they possibly can.
It's X-Men 3.
Yeah.
X-Men 3, they were like, I want to do Sentinels, we want to do Phoenix, we want to do... Let's put it all in one movie.
Well,
I think you're right. I think they're
We're
like...
never going to get to do another one of these.
Which the first one made some money, right?
It did, and I think this one's going to make... It's marketing. Kids buy toys.
Hey, Krang looks cool.
He looks... It's cool, but it looks way too cartoony for CGI. They can do better CGI than that.
Well,
But
I mean,
they
it
don't
is
need to.
cartoony, though. It's Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to be like, these turtles don't look realistic.
But no,
they're turtles.
But that's the thing is from the texture, like the turtles.
He wants some better texture on there.
The turtles.
You mean your giant brain alien robot guy doesn't have the right texture
Yeah.
for
No,
you?
but I mean, the turtles look almost real. Obviously, they're giant turtles; they're not real, but they look like it could walk.
They look like miniature Hulks.
They do.
A little bit, but
They're 7
But
foot
they
tall.
look like actual characters instead of
Well,
cartoons.
we only saw a real clip.
I know, and that's I'm not.
And that looked real. That looked like a guy's face. That looked like a big dude they have wearing armor.
I just mean the little brain when he smashes his face up
I
against.
mean, when he's in the washing machine.
Which bothers me to know, like, because I'm like, who would, like, if you're looking in a window, you're like, there's some people out there smashing your face against the window.
I'm a brain inside a washing machine.
Well,
that's just so you know it's Krang in
yeah.
there, or otherwise. I mean, that when they did that, Mike's kids watch that were like, oh, that's a Krang, and then they get excited over that.
Yeah.
That's what that's supposed to do.
Well, I got excited about it too, but I still think it's dumb. Like,
Yeah. But I don't know. It looked okay. I mean, it looks okay. I mean, I don't know. Megan Fox looks good in it, so that's really...
well, of course, it's a Michael Bay movie. It's just going to be Megan Fox running upstairs.
Hey, Michael Bay, what should we do in this scene? Can we get Megan Fox in like a schoolgirl outfit? And just what's the point of that? Well, she's breaking into a school, so get her in a schoolgirl outfit. But we don't even have that scene written in there. Write it in there
right now.
She's sneaking into a school, put her in a schoolgirl outfit. Guys want to see that. And as she walks out, she's taking her shirt off and throwing it in the trash can.
I still love that it's just going to be Stephen Amell with hockey sticks.
Yeah.
Because he does not look anything different than just
He
smiling
doesn't-
Stephen Amell.
He doesn't even look scruffy or dirty.
No.
He looks clean. Well, I think he's driving like a sports car.
Yeah,
too.
he's got one of the new Challengers.
Yeah, he has money.
I bet it transforms into jazz.
Do you remember Casey Jones from the old movie? He was like
he was like a
street
hobo.
guy. He was all dirty.
Well, like the Casey Jones from the new cartoons, a juggalo, because he wears face paint and everything. And he's
Yeah, and this one's just, hey, look, I'm Arrow Stephen Amell. I'm just starting in my first movie.
it almost feels like they should do the Jay and Silent Bob. Look, kids, it's Mark. It's like, look, kids, it's Stephen Amell.
There he is. I'm going to be at WrestleMania this year.
So Justin will be with us to watch WrestleMania.
Justin will watch WrestleMania this year because Stephen Amell is going to
He's
fight
going to be on. I'll
Stardust.
be on. Yeah. I'll go.
2 out of 3 of us are big wrestling fans,
Two-
and then the cheese isn't.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on those shows. Anybody else?
Next episode we can do a review on the pay per view.
Yeah. So Justin will be bored to death and fall asleep. And his blue headphones will fall off.
My favorite commercial at the Super Bowl was whenever Ant-Man stole the soda and the Hulk was chasing him.
That was good.
And then the Hulk his hands were too big and he couldn't open the soda. And it reminded me of Dawn at his house trying to do anything. And he's just smashing stuff.
Because I have large hands.
You know what could have made that commercial even cooler and would have been like
Galactus?
Here kids, this is what's coming in November. If at the very end of that Doctor Strange pops up and just poofs a Coke into existence for each of them, and he's like, "There, stop fighting."
Well, do you think that's how they're going to debut the Coke or Dr. Pepper commercial?
But it would have been kind of cool to see that.
I never would have thought that the first time Ant-Man and Hulk appear on a screen together, it's going to be in a Coke commercial. I wasn't really expecting that, but
because I was like, I was like, what's going on here? Yeah. Like, Hulk's not supposed to be in Civil War.
And they must have spent some money in that commercial because that was Avenger-looking Hulk.
Yeah,
that wasn't like some. You hear a roar, see a little quick thing. That was like full-blown CGI
running across the buildings. It was done really well.
Yeah, it was a good commercial. So that'll be cool. I can't wait for Ant-Man to be a part of the regular because I love Paul Rudd. I think he was great, and just his presence in those movies will lighten those up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree,
and be entertaining.
I can't wait to hear his little quips, because now that he's part of the Avengers, he can't fall back on, I think we need to call the Avengers.
Right.
Yeah. He might still do it. Like, can we call other Avengers?
Yeah.
Where's Thor?
That's what he's going to do. Where's Thor? Where's Hulk?
Yeah.
It'll be something.
I mean, if we would have went back, say, 2009, 2010, and say, what actors do you think are going to be in the Avengers movie? Would you have chosen Paul Rudd?
No.
Or think that he was going to make any kind of appearance?
What was
those?
he in 2009?
Anchorman?
Role models or something
Clueless.
like that?
He's the
And
weird
watching
brother.
Clueless, you're like, he's a future Avenger. But he's great. He's so great in that movie. I love the guy.
Paul Rudd's pretty much good in anything that he does.
He is. So that'll be cool.
Do you think odds on whether there will be a Wasp at least cameo in Civil War?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, she's obviously going to be a part of it. I don't know if you'll...
Over under 30% that she will be in there.
What did you just say? What?
Over or under 30% that she's at least just a cameo.
What's that mean, though? I have to go over or under 30%?
Yeah, do you think there's
Why
more
can't it just
than
be yes or no?
Why is it just yes or no? Hey, over or in between or under of 16%?
Let's carry the two and then make this 14.7%. Do you think that you might see her left
So,
foot to her right?
Either 20% or 10% or over 30%.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by that, what you said. Over or under, say it again.
The line is there's a 30% chance that she'll be. I'm saying there's a 30% chance she will show up. Do you think there's
I think
more
there's a
than
50% chance
Why
because
don't we
it's only
just
yes
go
or
50
no.
and go below over and under 50? Why are we drawing the line right there?
I drew the line at 30.
I'm going to say under. I don't think she's going to show up.
No cameos?
I don't think any cameos.
I don't think she'll be in it either.
There's too many people in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie is loaded. We haven't even seen Spider-Man yet or even know what side he's on.
And there's there's a really good chance that Doctor Strange could show up in this movie too.
Plus bad guys. We have Zemo and
Yeah.
other people. There's a lot of people in Avengers 2.5. Let's not
Yeah.
call it.
Crossbones.
Let's not call it Captain America. It's Avengers 2.5 Civil War.
Yeah.
And, who knows? Who knows? We're going to see a ton of people in that movie. I think Spider-Man might be in it for like 5 minutes.
There's supposed to be a great. They were talking. There's supposed to be a great Ant-Man Spider-Man fight scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Against each other. So
Yeah.
he's with... I read something a couple weeks ago that one of the leaked storylines is that Tony is keeping an eye on young superheroes for some reason.
That's creepy.
Like yeah, that sounds really creepy. But monitoring like people and vigilantes doing work, and he reaches out to Spider-Man and offers him like a job and technology for a suit. So like Spider-Man's swinging around in like some kind of like jogging suit and weird thing, and then he gives him all that, which that's a lot. And why would he be doing that? Why would he be caring at all about what other superheroes are doing when he was basically retired from the? Wouldn't that be something Cap and the Avengers team or Shield be keeping an eye on?
After Patch Samuel Jackson.
I thought you were going to say Patch Adams. I was like, Robin Williams.
See, you just made me think. He wears a lot of suits. In a lot of these previews, he's wearing suits. Could he be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now?
Could it?
I don't know.
I mean, I would be
Shield doesn't really exist, though.
No, but
Unless-
but remember, what's her name?
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill went to work for Stark.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson or Nick Fury's gone, presumed dead.
Well, no, he's back, but he's in the dark.
Everyone
He's
thinks
in
he's
dark.
dead other than Cap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cap and
Falcon
Widow
And
and
Maria
Falcon.
Hill, they know he's there.
But from all I'm hearing and reading, as much as the TV universe ties in, Coulson is not part of this anymore. So maybe Tony Stark is...
Show some respect. It's Agent Coulson. Okay?
No, it's director Coulson.
I don't know, I'm so behind on that show. I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
he's not currently even director, but, we'll digress off that.
Oh, no, that's right. That's Mac. Anyway.
But,
But yeah, I mean, if he's leading up an organization,
He might just be Secretary of Defense.
that's possible too.
could be, yeah.
Because
That's what
he
he was
joked
below.
about that in what episode? The Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Well, just make me the Secretary of Defense or something like that.
He could be, and he might be just uploading constantly, which could put him on edge why he wants to do whatever he's going to do, and that's why that's why all this could be coming down.
So we will see.
Yep.
So what do we got next there?
Let's do some Walking Dead talk, and then we can wrap up there because we'll just do all television today.
We can sneak it. Where are we at now, Justin?
We're at 44 minutes.
Oh, we're getting there. Well, yeah, we got a little bit of time. All right, so
15
we'll
minutes.
do
So
The Walking Dead. For all you Walking Dead fans out there. We've all... Ken's already mad about it. Here's the thing with The Walking Dead. Me and Ken hate this show. We like it. We've been fans of the book since it's been out.
I've been reading since issue 24.
And when Walking Dead started in what year?
Oh, it's a while ago. I was so stoked.
We were so excited. I remember we got
6
together and
seasons,
actually
yeah.
watched it on Halloween, and we were so excited about it because only we like
it.
that kind of stuff.
And we knew the potential that it had. And then, after the first episode, I was so excited because it was basically the first 2 issues
Right.
of the book. But
And it was kind of like, a show that not a lot of people knew about, and we thought it was great. It's turned into this. It has the Talking Dead after. All these people tweet about it and talk about it, and all these people that we just didn't really want watching it watch it,
Yeah.
and are all Walking Dead experts.
You
And
guys are hipsters at heart.
well, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
what
because
are.
we had it when it was cool, and everybody ruined it.
It's gotten so, and everybody, oh my god, it's the best show on TV, and I don't know, just so many things about it bother me now, and
Here's what I equated to one time to my friend Mike I said, I used to have people over at my old place, and we'd watch it all together, and then we'd leave. And he goes, why do you hate the show so much? I'm like, imagine if all you've ever had is chocolate ice cream, and you ate chocolate ice cream for 6 years, and then all of a sudden someone puts another brown substance in a bowl and hands it to you, and you've been expecting chocolate ice cream for so long, and you just eat a big piece of shit, and you're like, and everyone's like, it's the same thing. I go, no, it's not the same thing. That was chocolate ice cream, and it was amazing, and this is just a bowl of shit. And that's what I feel about the show.
it's perfect.
Because I'm not supposed to be cheering for the zombies when they kill people, and I do.
It is a good show, and there are aspects that we all like this last Sunday's past episode. What season are we in, Justin?
Season 6.
Season 6 mid-season premiere was good, but it's just...
It was the best episode of that show in probably 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. That show sometimes just gets so boring with all the brooding and all the ridiculous crap and
The feelings and the splitting up the characters.
and all that stuff they go through. It turns into, here's Rick depressed again and all that. And this Sunday I felt like they got back to their roots, which make the show good, is people fighting to survive. Action. I mean, I need action in that movie. I don't want
Television show.
I don't want in that television show. I don't want sitting in a room in the dark talking about your feelings. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I agree.
I want action. I want zombies in every episode.
Yeah.
I almost gave up on the show last year.
Yeah, it came close.
Why? I didn't watch it for a long time, and I binge watched to catch up. But
It's one of those shows I feel like, as that we are considered nerds if we're not watching, we need to know what's going on.
Yeah, and
Because I've stopped reading the book. I got tired of it.
I went to just reading the graphic novels because, and I'm actually 2 or 3. I have them at home, but I haven't read them because I just haven't had time to read anything. But so we're gonna spoil the episode.
Yeah, we'll spoil the episode.
So I'll start because
Spoilers.
I watched the last episode before the break, or is this the new season? Whatever
This
it is.
is
Mid-season.
Mid-season, yeah,
You know,
okay.
that shit that they have to do now. Mid-season, end-season.
So we watched that, and I'm like, oh my god, I remembered how annoying this show was because, and I don't even, it's so annoying that I don't remember any of their names. All I know is there's Rick, goes places and screws shit up for everybody else,
Yeah.
and there's Curl, and that kid. And so I just wanted everybody...
The liability, Carl.
I wanted a lot of people to die because by this time Carl in the book was getting to realize that he's like, I can't be weak. Rick Grimes is my father. Like, I have to be strong. And he was like wanting to kill people. And they just have that kid and he's like goofy and going through adolescence. And it's just weird. So
Well, now he got shot in the eye, so they're going to make him more of a badass.
good. He needs to be. That's a pivotal turning point with the character, which I was glad that happened.
I hate the baby.
I think the only reason that baby's in that show is they can't kill it off because people get upset because they killed a baby.
The baby's in that is as a father, That is the quietest child I've ever seen in my life. I mean, my children were never quiet and would scream anytime. That baby is walking around with zombies, and it's like, oh, put the baby under a dirty, disgusting tarp.
And it smells?
With a stranger, and the baby's just, oh, yeah. Like it doesn't cry. That baby would be going crazy and be eaten in a second. And where are they getting baby food from? I mean, come on.
There's a reason why I feel in the book that kid died.
Yeah, because you can't raise a baby in a zombie apocalypse.
No, not on the run and fighting. Yeah. Like you need something.
You need Similac and without
breast milk
and breast milk without injections and all that baby would be getting all kind of other stuff.
Unless you're Jenny McCarthy, that baby is not going to survive.
Right.
Vaccinations.
It's annoying, but they can't kill the baby because
same reason Carl couldn't shoot Shane in the show.
Yeah,
it had to
it's too much.
Exactly. You can't have a kid killing somebody.
Yeah.
Which is why the book is so much better than the show, but that's a whole another hour podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
So
speaking like we talked about earlier about how a show needs to be R-rated.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead needs to be R-rated and on HBO or Showtime.
Remember when they were first talking that HBO was going to pick it up, and then like once I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
That's something where you need it, because if you're in a zombie apocalypse, you would be swearing.
And you are not going to get Negan that's supposed to be coming into the show a tenth of what Negan is without swearing and without
Lucille
really horrible, dirty sexual references. I mean, he's a horrible person.
His helicopter, you could Google Negan helicopter quote, and it is poetic. It's fantastic, but I can't say any of it on here because there's too many F-bombs.
Too much effing and jeffing.
But
he makes the governor look like Rick pre-zombie apocalypse. I mean, that's the difference between that kid.
Well,
he's going to be such a dumbed down character that it's almost going to be unrecognizable.
Yeah,
he's just going to be mean and tough. But
he's going to be menacing. The actor playing him is
he's going to be mean and tough and a bastard, and everybody's going to be like, "Well, I hate that guy." But it's not going to be that. Negan is like a villain you've never read before when you read the book. I mean, the things that come out of his mouth.
The things he does.
I would pause reading it and go, I can't believe that they just said that. Like, did he really just say that about a baseball bat when he talked about how it's like a woman and how you treat it? And you're like, that's messed up.
I forgot about that whole scene because he's saying it to Carl, who's like 14 in the book.
It's terrible.
And he's explaining Lucille,
but it was so different that you were like, oh my God, I want to read again to find out what this guy says.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to do that on here. And I hope they don't rush his appearance.
I think they've already said he's not going to show up until the very last episode of the season.
That's even more annoying because now we know that all the action. So how many people died in this? It was all the bikers at the beginning died because conveniently they had a missile launcher at the back of a gas truck and blew up all the motorcycle.
That he found the episode before.
Yeah. So then
I did like that scene though because I liked how Daryl just blew them all away, and it was. But Daryl's a cool character.
I don't like Daryl. I think he's dumb. I'm tired of seeing him dirty with the. I see that every day. That's my brother-in-law Rick. I don't even watch a television show about it.
Well, he's like your brother-in-law. He's Rick.
I don't like Daryl. I don't like. I'm starting to lot like what's her name? The short-haired old lady. Carol's.
They've ruined her character. She's a lunatic.
She was a great character, and
I honestly would rather see them kill everyone, but half the Ninja Turtles, keep Morgan and Michonne, and then they find someone to be Michelangelo and Raphael, and then they could just have.
They get a guy that just conveniently likes nunchucks, and another guy walking around with size.
Yep.
So let's talk about this because Justin and I were talking about it. In the comic at this time, they introduce a character named Jesus. Not Jesus.
Yeah, his name is Jesus.
Because he has long dark hair and a beard. And
he saves people.
He saves people, so they start calling him Jesus. But he kills people because he's a badass. And he's a homosexual.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my God. I didn't even put all that together. Because to me, it's just...
They have cast this guy, and I don't know how they're going to pull this one off without offending so many people. Because if the Mums Against Humanity, or whatever they're called, threw a fit about the TV show Lucifer, when Jesus shows up murdering people and kissing dudes, I mean, I don't know how they're not going to lose their shit and go crazy.
So do you think they're going to end up tying him with Aaron?
Aaron's boyfriend, did he die?
No, Aaron still has his boyfriend. In the comics, Jesus has nothing to do with Aaron. They're not like, he doesn't like, hey, oh boy, Justin just said, hey, there's a gay guy there. He must like him.
What do you think? This is 1980 San Francisco. Everyone's just
But it's convenient.
Well, the thing that was
it makes for convenient television.
Well, the thing
tying
that
a
was
new
good with
character to a new
Jesus
character.
is it wasn't like, you know how sometimes they throw the typical homosexual thing in there and all that. They just kind of sneak it in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure Jesus did that a lot.
Meaning that he doesn't show up and like cut the
I'm gay!
guy's head off and go, you, and like start, you know, it's just like in the one scene he just kisses the one guy and you're like, whoa, like I didn't know they were going there
Because they don't need to, it doesn't need to be played out.
No,
like
it's
that.
just a side story.
Because who cares? Exactly.
But I think Christians are going to flip their shit.
Good.
Over there.
Good.
I think they're going to lose their mind. I mean, it's going to be like, oh my God, what's he called again? He's Jesus,
Yeah.
and he's slicing heads off and beating ass and then banging dudes. Like, oh boy,
Yeah, good. Good. It makes for good television then.
should be interesting to see what. Maybe they don't even throw that in there that he's.
I bet they don't because they already have their quota's already met. They have the other.
They have him.
Yeah.
I was so happy that Dr. Dre survived.
What's his name? Were you taking a picture?
No, I was trying to look to see if they cast him yet, and that's the guy they've got playing him.
Where? Which guy?
The guy in the hat with the long hair.
In the center.
This dude here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Looks like a woman.
This makes for great podcast for a picture that no one can
That's a
see.
terrible casting. I hope that's not him.
You know
Anyway,
who?
Dr. Dre from Straight Outta Compton movie plays Dwight.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's the guy who played Dre. And I was like, don't kill Dre. Don't kill Dre in this movie. I like Dwight. He's a good character.
Dwight's character lasts for a long time.
Well, you never know in the TV show
Yeah.
because it doesn't follow the comic. They can kill whoever they want.
Yeah. So, can we make a Deadpool? See how I connect this?
To see who's going to go next.
See who's going to go next, or who you'd like to kill. Actually, what we should do is, because you know,
Who you would like to kill and who...
F Mary kill. No,
Do we screw one of them and marry one? Let's do who you would like to die.
who you
and
think's
then-
going to die,
And then who you really think's going to die.
and okay, so I'm gonna do. So we're gonna do two.
2.
As my pen doesn't write, and since Don won the Super Bowl, he can go first, and I think I was the furthest off of any score, so I'll go last. So
Okay.
Justin,
No, actually, I think you were closer than me.
We'll
Because
pick-
remember, I said 31-17.
We will
Denver.
pick 2 that we like to kill,
Yeah.
and 2 that we know that are gonna
Yeah.
die. Okay, so we'll see who comes true. So
We'll do
2 that I would like to kill.
okay, so
Ken's making a little chart on his pad right now.
all right, go
It's
ahead.
actually just a piece of paper this week. What happened to your little pad from last week?
I lost it, so this is like an important work document. So I know I won't lose this paper.
Okay, so I'd like to kill Carol.
You only get one, and then it goes around because it's like a draft.
Oh, it's like a draft.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to kill Carol.
All right, Justin.
I don't do who. What?
No,
Okay.
it's Serpentine.
Serpentine.
Despite the way he came back at the end of the episode, I want the preacher dead.
Okay.
That dude annoys
What's his
me.
name? Oh, just put
We'll just
preacher.
put preacher.
All right, I want Daryl killed.
All right. I knew that. I mean, I knew you were going to say that. You don't like him because all the ladies like.
I just
Daryl.
think because he was a character that was supposed to die even early, but then everyone liked him. This is the guy from the Boondock Saints.
Well, was he supposed to die?
Yeah, because him and his brother were supposed to have a smaller part. Then everyone liked him, so they.
Yeah.
I'm tired of carrying his stupid face in my store. I just want him gone.
Yeah,
like I want
his
him
face
dead.
is
I
everywhere.
never want to see him again.
There was.
Well, they won't kill him because girls will literally stop watching that show.
Well, that's why they need to introduce Jesus and have him be.
Well, if it's that guy they play there, you know, Daryl Dixon. All right, so what do we want to do now? The second person we would like to kill?
Yeah.
Oh, the second person we want
Yeah.
dead.
For me, it's Morgan. I can't stand him.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh
With
yeah.
his Donatello stick and his Hupkedo and all the other crap that he
Hupkedo.
it's his story where he just goes and learns Aikido in the woods with some weird guy and
He's
like
a lawyer.
Such a filler episode.
it's so stupid.
Well, that's what we're
and-
getting. We're getting to get this because what? There's 6 episodes left. there's what 12 in a season, because heaven forbid you actually make a full season of anything. AMC.
If I had to hear one more time in that, every life matters. Not in a zombie apocalypse. I'm sorry. There's crazy people.
No, you have a W carved in your head.
You have a W carved in your head. You're killing and murdering people.
You don't brush your teeth.
Yeah, and that guy has the worst summer teeth I've ever seen in my life.
His teeth look like a Grateful Dead shirt because there's so many colors tie-dyed around.
Some are this color, some are that color, some are going this way, some are going that way. But Morgan, I think, is a horrible character. They've ruined that character.
Again, another character that they killed, or they ruined. He was. I thought he was pretty cool when he was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went through that crazy spell, and then I don't know. But I mean, so anyway, I won't take too long. But yeah, that's Morgan's my guy.
You know what I don't understand? Sorry to say it. Morgan, whenever he lived by himself, had the greatest zombie defenses ever.
He did,
and they implicate none of them in this town.
I know.
Yeah. He had spikes. He's like, oh, this really. He couldn't go. This worked really well for me, Rick. All you need to do is cut down some branches and get some.
Well, do you know why? Because in TV shows now, no one talks. Simple conversations that would fix everything never happen.
Yep.
Like when they walk in and someone's covered in blood and be like, explain what just happened. Instead they look at each other, I can't believe it, assume something, storm off, instead of just sitting around going, oh, so let's talk about it and work some shit out instead of having all this goofy crap.
He picked Morgan. Morgan was my number 2 because they killed the two characters that I wanted dead last episode.
I don't know how to tell you this, Justin, but you have to pick someone else then because he picked your guy. There's a lot of characters that we'd all like to see dead. That's how this works.
Come on, Justin.
Come on. There's Rick. There's Carl. There's Michonne.
Yeah,
there's Abraham. There's what's his name's sister. That's still alive. Sasha. There's
just any of the random
anybody.
No. Any of the really side Alexandria people. I don't care about them. I want the main cast, the main group with a few offshoot. Like I like Aaron.
But they have to live there.
Yeah, that's a. What's
is Deanna's son still alive?
Yes.
Him. Kill him off.
All right, get rid of him.
All right, Deanna's son.
He's a dick.
I want baby Judith to get killed.
The two characters, Ken wants dead, the two characters that would make people riot the most.
Pretty much. That's kind of
Ken's going to start the apocalypse because the two characters are...
I just don't see the point in because it's a convenient plot device, and it's why have it? What's the point of it? Like it's always someone has to watch it, so you just write that character out for a time period. Get rid of it.
Right. Okay, so what are we doing now? People
Who do you
that
we actually think's going to die?
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead since I picked first and steal the one that's definitely right, and that's Glenn. Glenn's going to die either at the end of this season or at the kickoff of next.
I actually don't think they're going to kill Glenn.
Okay. Well, you'll get your turn. So I'm going with Glenn. How about you?
I think Enid. I think the girl is going to bite it.
Okay.
Enid. I don't even remember that girl's name.
How do you even spell that name?
Enid.
Enid.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, Ken's fine. Who's your guy?
Hey, Cleveland won 106-95 tonight.
Big surprise.
There you go. All right, sorry. Sports update if I can.
And the Penguins won.
Yeah, 6-3. So my go, who I think is going to die? Oh, I don't know. I was confused by the Cavs score. Can we take anyone from the top who we'd like to kill?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Deanna's son's going to die.
Okay.
All right, back to you. So can I talk about I think Glenn's not going to die?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I just yawned.
That's all right. I think because he's had so many other scares.
They've really been teasing that.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to buy it in this last week's episode.
Well, how did he not die when the person with the automatic weapon shot everyone around
He
him?
ducked.
He ducked.
It was way too convenient.
All right, so what are we on now? Second round.
Second round of.
I think Abraham's going to die.
Well, that's very book centric. Spoiler alert.
I think if Glenn doesn't go first as the Negan kill, when Negan finally shows up, he's taking somebody out to make a statement.
I think this is 100% going to be Abraham's totally going to die the same way he did in the book. It's going to be a scene that's you don't understand. And it's just going to be
because it was very anticlimactic. It was very just out of the blue.
Yeah, I remember.
But it was the same thing, wasn't it?
He's walking and talking to Eugene about they're doing a sweep of some stores and then a bullet in the head.
Yeah.
And he's down. What Justin just had an epiphany. His hands went in the air and he put his hands on his head.
Well, you're next.
Eugene. But I would have. Now that I remembered him, I would have put him up in my want to kill.
Who do you want to get rid of him? The preacher or Deanna's son?
Deanna's kid. I want Eugene dead, man.
Eugene's key because he starts making ammunition.
I know, but
in the book
and
he does.
food and technology.
Yeah.
And
how does he make? In the show rules, he's an idiot.
He's not an idiot. He just lied to get. He lied to save himself.
But he's smart.
Has he shown anything to prove he's smart?
Picked that lock to get into the medical facility. He figured out how to do something with one of the trucks to get it. He
figured how to do something with a truck. Is what he did.
All right.
So I just wrote that better than the people on Walking Dead.
What are you doing in this scene? You're doing something with a truck. Oh, okay. I think he like hot wired it, or
he's got a hot wire truck. He's like,
he's got some smarts.
He does.
Anybody with a mullet that good is smart.
All right. Yeah, I still want him dead.
Okay.
Who else do I think is going to die? Oh man,
Rick.
Oh God, I wish. Because that show's really just turned into Rick mucking stuff up for everybody else.
Now, let me tell you a little side story right here. When I used to read the Walking Dead book, every time when I would come into the store on Thursday, and if it was a Walking Dead week when the book would be out, I would say, "Hey Ken, how was Walking Dead this week?" Because Ken always reads them, being the manager here, whenever he gets them first. And every week when this book would come out, he would go, "Oh, it was good. Rick died," and he would say it every time. Rick died, and then I would go, "Okay, no, seriously, he really dies this time." And every once in a while, he would get me to buy it, like, "Holy shit, Rick dies!" And then I'd read it and go, "Oh, damn it, fell for it again." It's like a constant April Fool's joke with Rick. So when Rick does die, it's going to be such an epic moment. Rick died.
Oh, I wish he would die.
I don't know. You can't kill Rick on the show. Rick is the show. It's through his eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be the main three, which is why I think it's...
Who's the main three?
I think the main three characters are Rick, Michonne, Daryl.
What about Carl?
I think Carl's on the next tier of tight second, which would be Glenn...
Rick and Carl, I think, are one. I always felt like when you read Walking Dead, the story is Rick and Carl and who Rick and Carl encounter and what they go through. Everybody else around them comes and goes in their lives.
You know why? Because that's not the case anymore in the book.
Yeah.
Carl moves to Hilltop.
Carl's older. Well, they went 5 years into the future.
And he's like 18 now in the book.
Yeah, and made it all weird.
The actor's like 35 in real life.
Yeah.
So that's maybe why I get those separated. But I can see where that is. But then the second one is like Glenn, Maggie, Carol.
What about Sasha? Because she's kind of like the Andrea of the show now.
Maybe Andrea, or Sasha, because she does fill the Andrea role of like
she's
the female.
Sniper and all that
but
stuff.
almost that can be interchangeable with Carol. I would love Carol. Will you quit picking at that?
I like it.
Actually, I'm going to say Carol. I don't know how much further you can go in her character development.
She's kind of nuts.
Especially when she inadvertently caused the whole incident in last episode.
Yeah.
Because the reason he had a panic attack is because he was reliving what she threatened him with.
And apparently he kept, I didn't pick up on it, but he kept drawing himself tied to the tree getting eaten by zombies.
Yeah.
Which is what she said to him. So Carol drove that kid nuts.
Yeah, she drove that kid nuts. She's a lunatic.
Yeah.
In there. She caused all that problems with Morgan and everything. Yeah.
Well, no. Morgan caused those problems himself. She should have killed
Morgan.
Morgan.
Not having a conversation caused all those problems.
Yeah, not being able to talk about it. Coming in like a lunatic, how she was doing, and shooting and killing everybody.
Hitting people in the head and stealing keys. But like also like Rosetta Stone.
The Rosetta Stone.
Could
I forgot about her.
Don't kill Rosita though, because
she's the most. I actually think that if anybody, Maggie will die before Glenn. But she's pregnant.
She's pregnant though. Maggie's gonna stay around.
I think
both of them are gonna stay around.
Where I quit reading was when she got to Hilltop. So she wasn't leading it yet, but I think they're going to end up going that storyline in the show.
We talked earlier how I definitely hope before we get Negan that this half of the season we get the Hilltop, Jesus. I wouldn't even mind getting the Kingdom and all that before we get heavy into Negan. Establish the 3 communities and how they work and how they operate, and then you introduce Negan. And what we talked about earlier, if you're going to introduce Ezekiel, who runs the Kingdom, you got to get Billy Ocean to play. Have you ever seen what Billy Ocean looks like?
I want them to introduce Ezekiel, and I want him to have the tiger.
Well, they put it on a shirt that Ezekiel has a tiger, so he better have his tiger.
Well, it better be played by Billy Ocean. Because if you've seen Google Ezekiel, Walking Dead, and Billy Ocean, it's the same person. It's exactly alike.
You can't say Billy Ocean without me thinking of the Yin Yang Twins.
Speak so hard they call Billy Ocean. But man, he is Ezekiel. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's spot on. If we'll post on the interwebs. Not anywhere anyone that can listen to this can see it. Just post it on the interwebs.
Once our website is running there, we will put a picture of Billy Ocean and Ezekiel side by side, and you will go, Dawn is right. Look, I'll bring it up for you right now. Look at that.
He does. How is that? So, everybody listening to this, pull up a picture of current Billy Ocean.
It's insane what Billy Ocean looks like now.
Now, I'll give you a second for your browser to... All right, let's go. So, why is that gray hair in the dreadlocks, or is that white?
It is. It looks like Predator hair. It doesn't even look like hair. It looks like he tied corn stalks to his head. Like I don't. It's because look at what Billy Ocean used to look like. That's a good-looking man right there, Billy Ocean.
Caribbean Queen, man.
And now you get this guy who's just crazy looking.
Well, how old is Billy Ocean now?
Look at right there what a nut looks like.
Listen, I wish if I have gray hair and I look Billy Ocean's age, I'd love to have hair like that.
You would love to just do that to your hair.
Oh my god!
And just become.
Can I do it now? I'd totally have dreadlocks.
Oh god, it looks so dirty. I don't know. It's just crazy that hair. But anyway, that's what we need is Billy Ocean to play Ezekiel. Because they just look so much alike, and that would be great. And hopefully they introduce that.
Yeah, I'd love to see the tiger and the whole... the Kingdom's great. I think the Kingdom's wonderful. I just don't... I feel like you're going to screw that up, too, because that might be over the top for their budget. Because aren't all the people wearing, like, knight armor?
No, a little bit.
They ride horses and talk.
I mean, Ezekiel just has a coat on and a Hawaiian shirt and a tiger and a staff, you know.
There's a sword there in the staff.
But, you know, that... I don't know. That show could get a little...
Is that a picture of Billy Ocean with...
No, it's some other guy that looks pretty good, too. That show could get a little much for people when a guy shows up acting like a king with a tiger. Yeah. Like, it's a little... It doesn't really fit into that show in the way the current show goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's their own fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could have made this a little more fantastical than making it...
Fantastical.
I feel like it's just depressing, and I shouldn't root for zombies killing people, which me and Mindy cheered out loud when that stupid kid got eaten.
I did the same thing.
I
was a little upset.
It was the same reaction if the Steelers scored a touchdown. Yeah. I celebrated the exact same fashion.
I was pretty happy too, because that annoying kid with the brooding and all that.
Oh, the
kid. Part I loved was when Michonne put a sword brutally right through that kid. I'm like, holy shit, that was crazy. You know, but yeah, I mean, that was a family that just needed to go. They were annoying in the books. They were annoying there. When that kid with the stupid look on his face, moaning and crying, I'm like, kill this kid already, and they got killed pretty hardcore.
Good.
That's pretty hardcore. But it was a good scene. So all around a good show. Hopefully it stays strong this season, and you know we get more of that.
I like when Rick goes off and just starts killing a bunch of things on his own.
Yeah, just runs out there like a lunatic and just starts taking on the whole herd with that axe. Which, how hard is it to fight? Because it would get stuck in every head.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, here's the physics of this Walking Dead zombie. Their bones are made out of Nerf.
Or made out of like watermelons.
Wood.
Yeah, watermelon.
All heads are watermelons.
Yeah, all heads are watermelons.
Or they're like Gallagher. They just smash them with a hammer, and the heads are exploding. Do you know how hard a human skull is? And they're just little knife in the skull, like it's nothing, like it goes right through it.
And then, but all of them have super strength because the decomposing body
are also strong.
They're also strong, but they're not strong enough to just put a spike in their head.
Right.
But when they grab their arms, like,
so strong that they can rip the skin right off your, put a hand and you tear your mouth right open.
The grip.
But really, a decomposing body that's been in the Georgia heat for that long, really, you could just walk up into it and pull it apart, and tear it apart. Their bones would be so brittle, except for the skull, because skull takes a long time to decompose.
Any kind of bone. The femur's stronger than concrete.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Where I don't mind when they do like a stab in the temple or through the eye, when Daryl shoots him through the eye, but when Michonne just easily is slicing a skull right in half with that sword, what is that sword? Is that Excalibur? How's it that sharp? It's not a lightsaber. It wouldn't happen like that, but,
So, one of the great things about my job is the conversations I can have about things like this after a show comes on. And so we had some discussions Tuesday with some of the guys here about if you were to go anywhere in a zombie apocalypse, where would you set up shop? And what kind of defenses would you have, and how would you fight them?
Oh my God, this would be a conversation we'll be on forever.
This is an hour-long podcast. We're now at an hour and 15 minutes.
All right, we're gonna wrap up.
So that'll be next week. Think about it. I'll just tell mine real quick. So I decided I was going to have giant metal hands like Fisto from He-Man. I was going to Mike Tyson's punch out and uppercut everybody's heads off, and then I would make a moat where I'd throw other zombies in so no one could get to me, and I'd have a tripwire so the zombies would fall in, or people be like, oh, what's this? And they just fall into the moat.
Well, I've said before, I don't know why people just don't wear denim. Because try and bite through a pair of jeans. Get a pair of jeans and try and bite
right now.
With your good, healthy teeth. It's pretty hard to do, to bite through a pair of jeans. So heavy denim, some nice gauntlets to protect your key parts, and then
cardboard and duct tape.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't be able to get bit. A nice motorcycle helmet, and a turtleneck, or something like that. You'll be fine.
We'll all be wearing Canadian tuxedos.
And then if we can have any weapon we choose, a lightsaber.
Any one that you can find on your own. You can't go to like.
Well, I'm saying if we're opening this up to all fiction as possible, nothing in a zombie apocalypse would be better than life. It's quiet. That's
a good point.
It's deadly. I mean, you could just walk through and.
Well, why would you even need a lightsaber? If you had the Force in a zombie apocalypse, you could just.
We're talking weapons. I didn't say I had the damn Force now.
But you need the Force to operate the lightsaber.
You don't. That's a myth. You don't. Okay.
You'd cut your leg off.
No, it'd be
and they'd come and eat you.
The only drawback is in the dark, it'd be very bright and draw a bunch of people too.
Yeah, that'd be.
But I mean, you could definitely rule some ass with that. Now, if we're talking about logical weapons, you're wearing Fisto's giant metal hands, which is a logical weapon.
I can get metal hands.
But I agree with you with staffs and things like sharp stuff. It's going to get stuck. That will always get stuck.
Yeah.
Take a sword and swing it into a tree. It gets stuck. Swords are the worst. I would have all blunt force trauma type stuff, brass knuckles, metal, armored up. That way, you can't really bite me or hurt me, but you can just punch and smash and do all kind of things. Even like the Batman spikes along the thing would be perfect for stabbing.
And that's something. I mean, you could rig something up to do that.
Of course. Of course.
Well, I could totally do that on my Fisto metal hands.
Yeah, but giant Fisto metal hands where you're walking around. I can't lift these heavy hands up. You have some hell of a biceps walking around with those Fisto hands.
It'd be working.
You don't have Fisto hands, I'll have Jitsu hands. Because he was the bad Skeletor guy who had karate chop hands that looked like this were gold. Jitsu.
All right.
I didn't get to do mine.
Okay.
I disagree a little bit on. I would get one of those like axe things that has the hatchet on the front and the spike on the back.
You'd get the Buffy Vampire Slayer weapon that they use.
It's a real tool for something. I've seen the damn things at Home Depot. No.
You're a real tool that I've seen.
No, it's just like just lob that up there. Yeah. No, it's like a hatchet, but it's got a big spike on the other side of the blade. There's a blade side that's like a hatchet,
okay,
and then there's a spike on the other side.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah,
and that's. I mean, if
that's
that
for
was
like
my
gardening and stuff like that.
Sharp damn spike.
Yeah,
but yeah, that would be my weapon of choice if I was.
Actually, the hammer that what's his name used to carry around is perfect.
Yeah, that was
Thor.
Yeah, the Thor. Yeah, definitely.
What was his name?
Tyrese. That hammer was perfect. A big hammer like that, smashing heads, knocking them down, causing trauma.
Oh, what a waste of a character he was in the show.
Yeah, what a waste. Now, can I give you my zombie apocalypse vehicle of choice?
Sure.
Is a school bus with monster truck tires. That's the ultimate thing. If you can, I don't know how to do that because I know nothing about.
Well, there is Yankee Lake in Ohio. You can pay $4. It's an old lake that it's like dried out, but when it rains, it gets real muddy. And they have a school bus with the top off it. And what it does is you just drive in the mud. So you just go to Yankee Lake and sell their mud bog.
That's what I want. And I take all the seats out because it's nice and roomy in there. Put your weapons, whatever you need. Armor up the windows because the windows on there are kind of small to begin with. Armor up those windows. Armor up the door. Big old tires on it, and a big shovel on the front of it, like a plower,
cow catcher on the front of a train.
Yeah, one of those. It splits. You know what I mean? And I love that you two both cow catcher and spit that out at the same time. And that would be the perfect vehicle. Drive around there, I get out with my armor on and my lightsaber and my jitsu hands. And
another decent weapon will be like a PennDOT plow truck, like one of those big highway plow trucks.
What I definitely wouldn't do is wear a tank top like Daryl does
and ride a motorcycle.
And ride a motorcycle and have so much skin exposed. I know it's hot there, but Christ almighty, you're going out in the zombie apocalypse and you have tank tops on.
What about Rosita in those little booty shorts and her tied up, stomach showing and her tied up shirt?
Show some more skin so that it can easily in those scenes when you're fighting zombies and your arm goes out and one of them instantly is tearing your flesh off.
And all it takes is a scratch.
Yeah.
All the zombie has to do to Rosita is just go like this and scratch her stomach and she's dead.
Yeah. Well, they don't do that. They viciously bite all the veins out of your arm. Because, if you bite in your arm, it's that easy to tear flesh apart. But,
Yeah, it's that show bothers me.
There's a lot of... We could go on and on and on about this show, but...
And we will. Yeah. All right, so one of the things we wanted to talk about was DC Rebirth, comic book wise. We'll get to that next week with some other stuff.
We got time for that. There's a lot of DC stuff. A lot of comic book stuff.
A lot of comic book stuff coming down the pike. Pay-per-view, rest WWE pay-per-view Fastlane. We'll review that quickly.
Talk about WrestleMania a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe who the Undertaker's going to fight.
They said they know who's going to fight. There's rumors online that he's not on the roster.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
I actually don't want to know until WrestleMania. I think it'd be amazing.
I think it's going to be Daryl Dixon.
It's going to be Baby Judith. And Undertaker's going to... It's going to be Tombstone. But yeah, so... Justin?
Right. Hopefully when you're listening to this now, our website is up. Our blog website. And you can read about stuff.
The producer's having production issues.
Justin's going to get on that. That way you're not listening to this 6 years from now going, what are they talking about? We already know what happens.
We're going to figure it out. Hopefully soon. You'll listen to this one and the last one, so go back and check out our first nonsense.
Episode 1.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Or day. Whatever the hell time it is.